you're well known as someone who's been at TRS for 16 years.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about, who you were before there. Where'd you grow up and how'd you end up in the real estate business?
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of those odd people who actually started in real estate through internships in college. But I was born near San Antonio in a small town. And then I went to UT. And at UT, I didn't have a major at first, but was able to get a job at a retail developer here in
Mm-hmm.
Austin who developed grocery anchored shopping centers for HEB. And that was a great place to kind of see the business and start to learn about it. And
Mm-hmm.
from there, I ended up working for a office tenant rep broker. I was also, part of the undergraduate business, real estate business club, and ended up working at Guarantee Bank in Dallas for an internship. So all of those internships were super helpful to help me decide what I wanted to do. I was a finance major,
Mm-hmm.
though, and wanted to get on the investment side. So coming out of college, I was lucky enough to get a job at Crow Holdings in Dallas. So
Mm-hmm.
I was part of their real estate fund analyst team. And that was a great place to start because we got to work across all property types.
Mm-hmm.
So retail, office, industrial, multifamily, and land. And I was there 3 to 4 years, from '04 to '07. So it was the boom
Oh,
times
the
of the real estate
heyday.
industry. Great time to start.
Did you just
And
think everything went up and to the right?
I did. It was in the time where I was an analyst and always looking at the numbers. And at one point we were looking at a multifamily development and it had an infinite IRR. And I was trying to figure out how that worked. And it was because we were getting 100% construction debt. Didn't have to put any
Oh,
equity in.
yeah.
So that doesn't exist anymore, but that did happen at the time. And so I'd been there a while and ended up seeing a job for another real estate private equity firm in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd always wanted to get back to Austin, being a proud Texas Longhorn. So it piqued my interest. And it was a group called Cherokee Investment Partners. They were based
Mm-hmm.
in North Carolina, but had one person in their office in Austin. And I met him and really connected and decided to take the leap. Cherokee had raised $1 billion fund in '07, which was pretty large for the time.
Wow.
So I thought that'd be a great opportunity to work on some acquisitions and get some different experience. They also had been very forward thinking
Mm-hmm.
as far as sustainability, brownfield
Mm-hmm.
development.
Mm-hmm.
They had a whole sustainability team at the real estate fund. We got an environmental scientist with a ponytail on staff. And I got LEED certified through that. And, in college, I had taken urban planning classes and had always really liked
Mm-hmm.
that side of the business too.
Yeah.
So it kind of
Yeah.
connected my two interests that way. Unfortunately, it was short-lived. I was only there a couple years before the GFC hit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was when things started to crack. So October of '08, Cherokee shut down their Austin office. And I wanted to stay in Austin. I didn't know what Texas Teachers was, the pension fund. Did not seek out to work at a pension fund actually at all. But my boss at Cherokee knew Steve LeBlanc, who had just been hired to run the real estate team
Right.
at TRS. So I met with him and thought, oh, this will be a short-term gig. I applied to get my MBA and got into UT, but deferred a year thinking, oh, I won't stay long. But now it's been 16 years. So I obviously liked it more than I thought.
The best
So,
kind of planning. That's a great story.
yeah.
When I
The
think
other interesting thing I like to point out is, the difference from Crow to Cherokee. At Crow, if you were there 7 years, you got to go on Harlan's yacht. That was like what you were working towards. Whereas at Cherokee, if you were there 5 years, you got to go to their orphanage in Ethiopia. And so it was just a very
wow.
different, type of firm. The head of Cherokee drove a Prius, and they were very into sustainability. They did a lot with the New Orleans. Rebuilding New Orleans after the hurricane. So yeah, anyway, just think it was good to get a variety of different types of people who are all in the same industry. Yeah.
And different cultures. Yeah. I think of Cherokee as really, they were the first ones to try to institutionalize or find institutional capital for cleaning up brownfields.
Yep.
And I don't know how, did they end up doing much of that before the crash?
Yeah. So the founder of Cherokee, he had been a Bain consultant, and the way he got into it is he was consulting for a brick making company. And so they found out that it was a time that underground storage tanks that were leaking at gas stations. So the brick company could get paid to come and take that dirty dirt away. They'd fire it through the brick making process and then sell the bricks on the back end. So they're getting paid on both sides. And so he thought he could use that in a real estate sense, where if you're providing, a public good and kind of getting incentives on the front end to help clean something up, then you can also create value on the back end. So yeah, they did a lot of projects across the country in Denver, California, New Jersey. We had some small projects in Texas that I worked on, but the bigger ones were across the country. And unfortunately, they're big, complicated, mixed-use, public-private partnerships, public financing layered all together. So when the GFC hit, it just, didn't work as well then. So,
Is Cherokee gone today?
I think they are. Still around doing some small private equity things, but I think they're,
no, it's they were definitely early for their time.